All right. I didn't get a countdown that time, but it's okay. Welcome to Fantasy Gains, presented by SuperDraft DFS. No limits, more winning. I am Squish Saluko. With me, as always, Kyle Schroeder. And I'm going to wait to see how long it takes for Kyle to realize he's muted. All right. He's unmuted now.
I'm doing well, man. How are you doing?
It seemed like you just weren't ready for that at all.
There is two audios going in my voice, in my ear right now. And
here's what you got to do. Mute something somewhere real quick.
All right, I'm good.
We're getting ready.
Good. Here we go.
Let's go. Big game. We're getting ready for the big game on Sunday. We're going to run through what we did last week. We're going to talk a lot of NFL. We're going to give you value plays, must starts, who to fade, and a little bit of NBA as well for tonight's Thursday slate. So let's get into it, Kyle. Championship weekend. Yeah, we did pretty good. I mean, I did better than you did, but we did great as a whole.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you especially. I mean, you got three guys correct.
I mean it's only going to show three, but I really got four. But we'll get there.
Okay, all right, but I'm gonna have to defer to you. I mean, Darrell Williams, wow, that was 1.85x. 23.31 fantasy points per game, or fantasy points, 36% owned. I love.
Yeah, we'll go through that. Darrell Williams, 23 points, as you said, 36% owned at 1.85x, the highest running back on the slate. I gave you Josh Allen as my quarterback, the highest quarterback on the slate at 1.1x, just over 30 fantasy points at 44.7% owned. He got a lot of it in garbage time, but it doesn't matter. Points are points. My tight end, they gave you Dawson Knox. He wasn't Travis Kelce, but he gave you 21.78 at 1.8% owned.
I mean,
and it's not going to be on your screen, but I said fade Aaron Jones, and he had 34 total yards on 10 touches. So, yes.
I mean, if you had Dawson Knox, I mean, you're in a great position right there. I mean, Travis Kelce had a great game, but, as I had, 32.3 fantasy points, but 83% owned, so that was pretty easy to do. But, I mean, Dawson Knox, 1.8% owned, that's a slate breaker right there. So, props to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You had more. You had Kelce. Who else did you have?
Leonard Fournette, playoff Lenny, living up to his name. Everyone's going in talking about playoff Lenny. It was, I don't know. A lot of people are saying that's a little bit premature, but it was definitely not. 21.4 fantasy points in that game, 1.35x. I loved it. I mean, and the Packers.
The playoff Lenny nickname is not premature. He has 13 touchdowns in 6 career playoff games, so I'm pretty sure he earned that even before these playoffs.
Right. Yeah. So that was a good one. I mean, I think going forward, he's going to be a good pick, for the Super Bowl. So yeah, we'll see.
All right. Yep. We talked about it. NFL. It was 2 weeks ago, championship weekend. We have the big game coming this weekend, and it's going to be something else. The future of DFS is here with our biggest prize pool yet. This Sunday for the big game, we will be paying out over $1.3 million worth of guaranteed prizes. Come on, Kyle, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we're not counting the 1.3 million. I wish we could. Not only do we have our Super Million Big Game contest, but we have 2 $100,000 contests in the lobby. Our Red Zone contest has an entry fee of $20, but our Hail Mary is only $4. So if you're wondering, you don't want to spend the 20, you can spend the 4, still go for that same payout and still have fun. Do not miss out on the biggest day of the year and win some cash with SuperDraft, where the limit does not exist. That's right. Mean Girls reference.
I wish I could understand this reference, but I've never seen Mean Girls, so sorry about that, man.
For some reason I'm not surprised by that. But going into this weekend, Kyle, it's a single game, obviously. Bucks, Chiefs, your champion play. Who is your champion? Who is going to defend your honor as if this was Game of Thrones?
So I mean, everybody's going to be looking at Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. I mean, those are the easy guys to pick, but I mean, that's not going to win. That's not going to separate you from the pack when you're trying to take down the super millionaire and get 300K. A guy like Chris Godwin will, as he is Tom Brady's top target. He has been more trustworthy than Mike Evans has been so far this year. 65 catches for 840 yards and 7 TDs in just 12 games. And just to put that in perspective, Mike Evans has 70 catches in 16 games. So, I mean, 4 less games for Chris Godwin, and he only has 5 less catches than Mike Evans does. And so I think Godwin is going to be relied upon heavily in this game. The Chiefs are going to put up their points. We all know that. Mahomes is going to put the ball in the air and he's going to put up points. That's what he does. And I think Brady and the Bucs are going to have to keep up with them through the air. They're going to have to score some points. So, and I think Godwin is going to be, the main target for Tom Brady in this game. And, Brady is known as a guy, he's been this way his entire career. He's going to lean on the guys he trusts in big games. And Chris Godwin is the number one guy that he trusts right now. So I think when you get that value at 2.45x in the champion spot, I think that has great potential to present great value in that spot. And he's not going to be as high owned as a guy like Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill, who everyone's going to have. It wouldn't be, I've gotten some crap for, going with some, easy picks, Dalvin Cook, that's a big one that everybody likes to harp on. But in this spot, you really have to, in a single game, limited spots, super flex, like you have to go with guys that are not going to be super high owned. Like Kelce and Hill are going to be in the 80s, I would imagine. And I think Godwin is reliable enough and not going to be as high owned where you can put him in the champion spot and he's going to succeed for you.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's pretty much giving a gift to our viewers, even a giveaway of sorts. Ooh. Speaking of giveaways, Kyle, we're giving away 50,000. What are we? 50,000 what?
Caesars Rewards credits. How about that?
Wow, Kyle, who's getting it?
So the man who's getting it is at the put up 2 on Twitter is our winner for the 50,000 Caesars Rewards credits. So congratulations to you.
How can he get those? What does he get? Does he have to be here?
No.
Are we going to tweet at him? What's going to happen?
So if you're watching right now, you got to reach out to us on Twitter, send us a DM, and we're going to set you up with all these Caesars Rewards credits, and we'll give you more information once you reach out to us. So congratulations, sir.
Wow. I only hope that this man is here to put up 2. I can only hope.
Should be.
You know who's here? You know who is here? Playoff Lenny.
Oh.
And that's my champion play. I don't care if it's chalk. This man deserves the nickname Playoff Lenny. His champion multiplier is 2.65. This man is on fire. We talked about it. He has this nickname for a reason. 6 career playoff games. He's averaging 100 total yards per game, and he has scored 13 touchdowns in those 6 games. Evenly on the ground, through the air. It doesn't matter, and he's putting it up this season. Ronald Jones was leading the backfield in Tampa Bay all throughout the regular season. You bring Playoff Lenny in during the playoffs. He's got fresh legs. This man can still play, as evidence of this playoffs. In the 3 games, he's averaging just over 20 touches per game, over 100 total yards per game, and 3 total touchdowns. I don't understand how anybody could not have him in your lineup. I don't see a way of you even cashing if he is not in there in some sort of fashion. I don't care how high owned he is. This guy needs to be owned, and you don't beat Tampa Bay. Kansas, You got to keep – I'm getting everything mixed up. My notes are awful chicken scratch. You got to keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes. You said it. They're going to put up their points. He's going to do his thing. He's going
Mhm.
to find Hill. He's going to find Kelsey. How do you neutralize that? Run the ball. Keep your defense off the field. That is the recipe of success to beat the Chiefs. It's been that way for these past 2 years. They have a weakness. They can score just like that. But if you can consistently run the ball, make a couple plays on defense, there is a recipe to beat this team. I don't know if it's going to happen, but Leonard Fournette's going to play a big part of it if the Buccaneers do come out ahead on this.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I don't know. It's hard for me to not bet on the Chiefs really putting it up in this game. So I am a little bit worried that Fournette might get phased out, but I still like the play just because he is going to be involved in the passing game. So I personally wouldn't take him, but I do not absolutely hate the pick.
Half of those touchdowns in his playoff career have come through the air too.
Yeah, so he has some ability through the air, and obviously Ronald Jones is off the radar now, so he's going to be the guy. But yeah, I don't know. I am a little bit nervous about the Chiefs being able to put it up and Brady just having to put it through the air. So and not targeting.
Speaking of being a little nervous, who would you stay away from this weekend? Who are you not going to roster?
So
I already know who it is, and you're going to get raked over the coals for this one.
Yes, I'm prepared. I'm mentally prepared for this. I just said that Patrick Mahomes is going to be throwing the ball a lot. However, I think you should still fade him at 1x this week in the giant big game that we got. And you know what? I think it's a good move because this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense they're going to come after the quarterback. And Eric Fisher, their Pro Bowl left tackle, he is out for this game. And the Buccaneers are going to, I think they will have an opportunity to get after Patrick Mahomes and force some turnovers, get some sacks. And we saw what happened these last 2 games. I mean, they sacked Aaron Rodgers 5 times, forced an interception. Shaq Barrett, Jason Pierre-Paul, Ndamukong Suh, they're all going after the quarterback. Even Devin White and Levante David will get in there as well.
They have a great linebacking core. Great, young, fast linebackers who can do it all.
Right. And they forced Drew Brees to throw 3 interceptions. So I think there is potential here for Mahomes to have a few mistakes. And also, he's going to get his yards and his points. Like, we know that. But at 1x, I just don't think I think he's going to have a few mistakes, and that's going to bump down his value a little bit. And there are just too many good options here at, and it's champion mode. So he isn't going up against other quarterbacks. He's going up against Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. As we said, Godwin, I even liked Fournette, Tom Brady. I mean, there's a lot of guys here that are not at 1x who have a lot of good value. And I just think that at 1x in this particular draft group, he is not going to provide enough value for you to be able to, put yourself in a good position to cash and or like take down some of these contests. I don't think he's able to do that for you. So. It seems insane to fade him, but I think that, the circumstances surrounding him are going against him, and it's not going to be as good with him at the 1x value. So, yeah, fading Patrick Mahomes.
All right, I'm staying with you with the Chiefs, except I'm fading every Kansas City running back on their roster. If playoff Damian was on this team, I would fade him too, but he's not. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 2.55 at the champion, 1.7 flex, fade. Le'Veon Bell, 3.05 champion, 2.05 flex, fade. Darrell Williams, 3.15 champion, 2.1 flex, fade. You do not beat Tampa Bay on the ground. I have said this, I feel like 10 times on this show throughout this season, and it is still true. You've only allowed one 100-yard rusher this entire season. In their last 8 games, they have allowed 2 total touchdowns to running backs. That is ridiculous. In their first meeting, the Chiefs running backs had 19 touches for 71 yards. Didn't do a whole lot of nothing. In the Green Bay running backs last week, 25 touches, 109 yards. Seems good. They had 4. They had three different running backs touch the ball. That's just over 7 touches each and about 35 to 36 yards per. Not good. I don't want anything to do with this. Get them away. I don't care if they're 5X. I'm not touching them.
There are people that want us to disagree, but I just can't disagree here. Yeah. I mean, with Tampa Bay's run defense, like, they're just Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He was barely even part of the game plan against Buffalo the other week. So, like, it's just, I don't see any reason why you should have any optimism for playing Clyde Edwards-Helaire in this game. Williams might be a different story. Just because of, like, he's got some ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. That might be something to look out for. But other than that, I agree. I think, Mahomes, regardless how I feel about him, before, I still think he's going to be putting the ball up in the air a lot. Yeah. And these running backs are not going to be getting the touches. So I agree with you, sir.
I mean, it could, if you think the Chiefs are going to be blowing out the Bucs, which I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think there's going to be a lot of points to go around.
A lot of
I don't see a situation where the Chiefs, let alone are just going to run the clock out. And even if they do, I don't think it's going to be successful.
Yeah, that's true as well. Like, even if they try to run the clock, even if they're trying to run the ball, they're up by like 17 in the fourth quarter. Even if they try to run the ball, I still think Devin White and Levante David and those guys are just they're going to just hold them up. And so, yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah, that front is way too good. All right, we're talking about value now, Kyle. We already provided a little bit of value with the champion, but who is your value play of this weekend?
I absolutely love this man right here at this value. This is like as good of a value as you're going to get. And it's because
before Kyle goes, I heard Kyle talk about this guy 2 days ago. I heard him talk about him yesterday. I read an article he wrote solely on this person, which is up, right? It's up.
Yes, it is.
It's up, by the way. Go to our strategy website for that.
In the description on YouTube as well.
Exactly. Is in the description. Go read Kyle's article about this player. I have never heard Kyle jacked up about anything in my life. So it's
except
definitely not going to be. It's definitely, and there you go. There's a thank you for that screenshot of the website. Now, you just know that this player is not going to perform as well as Kyle thinks.
I think he is. I think he's going to shock everybody with his performance, and that is Sammy Watkins, who has been out since week 15 with an injury. Everyone seems to forget about Sammy Watkins. Everyone's focused on Hill and Kelsey and all these guys, like, justifiably so. But Sammy Watkins in these last 2 years in the playoffs has been unbelievably good for them. And I don't think anyone seems to realize this. Everyone's talking about playoff Lenny, for Leonard Fournette. How about playoff Sammy? Everybody should be calling him playoff Sammy with the way he's played. In these last 5 games against Kansas City, or for Kansas City in the playoffs, 24 catches, 464 yards, 1 touchdown in these games. That's just under 95 yards receiving per game. And when you do the fantasy points for that, 12.5 fantasy points per game in those 5 games. And with his 2.4x, this is just the super flex multiplier, it boosts him up to 30.04 with the multiplier in those 5 games. And I think this is something that is, I think this is a trend that we are going to see live out in the Super Bowl, where, the vast majority of the attention is going to be on Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, especially after the huge game Tyreek Hill had against the Bucs early in the season. They're going to be very focused on him. He's still going to get his, but they're going to be focused on him more. And I think Sammy Watkins, much more so than Byron Pringle or Demarcus Robinson.
I think he's out for COVID.
Yeah, even better. So Sammy Watkins is going to have the ability to get a lot of targets thrown his way, and he has the talent to get open and make catches and gain yards and gain fantasy points. And, this is another guy who's not going to be very highly owned. And he has a chance to really put you up there in the standings for these contests and win you literally thousands of dollars if you put him in there. And I think, game script is in his favor. The Chiefs are going to be throwing the ball, and he's going to be the third option on this team. And I really like him. And I think people are going to be talking about playoff Sammy after this game is over.
All right. I don't disagree with you. Even if I tried to fake disagreeing with you, I wouldn't be able to do it because I've never seen you so happy in your life. You're just so excited. I don't want to take that from you. But you put some respect on playoff Lenny's name.
I respect playoff.
He has 13 touchdowns in 6 playoff games. We're talking about a guy with 1 measly touchdown. Get out of here.
Just under 95 yards per game for a number 3 receiver in 5 games. No one's talking about the man.
Playoff Sammy my ass.
I'm giving the man his credit because no one likes to talk about him. So
he ain't playoff Sammy. He ain't playoff Sammy.
He will be after this game. I'm the only one.
Unless he gets 12 touchdowns, he ain't being shit.
I'm the only one giving him playoff Sammy. And you know what? I'm going to be one of many. And I'm not going to accept anyone on this bandwagon. I'm driving this bandwagon right now. And if someone wants to get on, I'm like, screw you. You didn't have time to get on this bandwagon. I'm driving the Sammy Watkins bandwagon.
That's fine. Have you 1 touchdown and call it a day when you can have Leonard Fournette and have 1,800 touchdowns in 1 game. And that is not an exaggeration. That is possible.
3.6 with the champion spot. That's going to put you and win you thousands of dollars.
All right. I get another value play, and it's the same value, 3.6 at the champion spot, 2.4 at a super flex. It just came through the wire that maybe he's got a little back injury, but that's only because he's been carrying this team through the goddamn playoffs. All right? That's the only reason.
Carrying Gronk.
He'll be fine. Yeah, he's carrying Gronk, and believe me, that'll hurt anybody's back. I don't care who you are. In this playoffs, Cameron Brate, 16 targets, 11 receptions, just under 150 yards and a touchdown. 3 red zone targets throughout this playoff span. That's 3 games. Kansas City, I've talked about this before. I talked about it last week with Dawson Knox. They're weak against the tight ends. And I'll say it again. Now with the touchdown from Knox last week, they've allowed 10 touchdowns to tight ends this season. They're ranked 25th against tight ends in receptions per game. They're ranked 29th against tight ends in yards per game. And they're ranked 26th against tight ends in yards per reception. Dawson Knox, we all saw what he did last week. Allegedly, I might have benefited from everything that I allegedly did regarding Dawson Knox. Allegedly. He had 8 targets, 6 receptions, 42 yards, and a touchdown. That's only 13.2 points, right? But he was at 1.65. That gave him over 23 points. We talked about it, 1.8% owned. If Cameron Brate finishes with 13.2 points today or on Sunday, not out of the realm of possibility. At a super flex, that gives you just over 31. At a champion spot, that gives you 47.52. All I'm saying is if Cameron Brate has an average week against the Chiefs like every other tight end does, it's going to win you some cash.
I like it. There's potential there. I mean, the super flex, there's limited options with the super flex, obviously. And if you can hit on playoff Sammy and Cameron Brate in the same lineup, you're golden.
You better Brate yourself.
Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time managing that $300K that you're gonna have in your pocket.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe you need a financial advisor, and Kyle and I were, for if you wet the beak a little bit, maybe we can help you find out some ways to spend that.
Yeah, maybe we get 0.5% credit on that.
Maybe if you want to throw us a couple bucks, maybe buy us some dinner. It's up to you though. If you don't agree to it, then you hate charity, and nobody wants to be a guy that hates charity. Nobody wants to be that guy.
For sure not. But
speaking about a lot of money, Kyle, we've had quite a busy last couple weeks here at SuperDraft. I don't know about you, but I haven't slept. It's because I've been sleeping on a suitcase full of money, and it's not comfortable.
I can't imagine it's very comfortable. No.
But we aren't the only ones that get to be excited about our partnership with Caesars Rewards. You get to be excited too. The top scorer in any paid big game contest this weekend wins a free vacation with a $1,500 value to any Caesars Rewards destination. Oh, that's good, right? That's good.
How can you not love that?
Oh, wait. There's more. If you feel like taking the free approach this weekend, maybe, you got some bills to pay. It's been snowing. Maybe you got a little work to do with your car. Maybe you've been spending a little bit too much money allegedly on some of these other things in your life that we won't talk about. But if you want to take the free approach, you're covered too. The winner of the big game free roll wins a vacation with a $1,000 value to any Caesars Rewards destination. Do not miss out on the future of DFS.
Love it. How could you not love that? We're offering everything for you guys.
I have no words.
I don't know how you could. It's great. I love it.
I have no words. I don't have a transition. Well, how should we transition in the NBA? I have no words.
Well, there can be more. I mean, there's more ways to win money besides NFL, and we got a $40 satellite contest into our big game super millionaire contest. So you could turn $40 into $300K if you win,
and a free vacation
tonight. And a free vacation, of course.
Also, the fine print on that, I don't know if it does say this, but I think it says you have to bring Squish and Kyle. We'll check. But I think that's what it says in the fine print. I need to be drinking a Mai Tai somewhere warm.
Yes.
Soon.
So let's quickly go through our NBA picks to allow the people to win this type of money. So who do you got for tonight, sir?
All right. I'm only going to talk, or it's only going to show Gary Trent Jr. 1.75x, but with Damian Lillard out and all the injuries to Portland, I like a lot of the guys on that team. But let's just talk about Gary Trent Jr. Last 5, 19.5 points, 1.8 steals. He's shooting 49% from 3, 24 for 49 in that sample. He's been raining from 3. 31.9 fantasy points per game. With his multiplier, that's 55.8 over that 5-game stretch. Philadelphia, good defensive team, but they allow 14 three-pointers per game. That's somewhere around the middle of the league. So they do allow some three-pointers. They played last night, second of a back-to-back. Could be a little tired after they whooped the Hornets up and down the court last night. He's a better shooter on the road. 10 home games this year, shooting 37%. 8 away games, he is 34 for 66, shooting 52%. I like him. I like Anthony Simons at 2x. I like Rodney Hood all the way at 1.85x. This team, if you stack this team, you cash. That's all I have to say.
I like it. Simons is a bit of a push there, but I like Gary Trent.
All right, Kyle, $50 that Simons will go 65 over under 65 multiplier points tonight.
I'll take the under there, and for
$50,
$25,
65.
All right, let me go with my guy real quick. Mike Conley, he is back. He's back to his Memphis days. He's averaging 16.8, 6 assists, 1.5 steals, 34.1 fantasy points per game, 51.1 with his multiplier of 1.5, and he's playing the Atlanta Hawks tonight, who are, they're still bad at basketball when it comes to defense. They are. Trae Young still cannot play defense. So
he can't even play defense against his own hairline.
He cannot. No, I mean, and that's an atrocious hairline, but that's another story, But the Hawks have allowed the third most fantasy points to opposing point guards. I wonder why, because Trae Young's guarding them. And then the Hawks have allowed the 6th most steals to their opponents. And guess why? Trae Young is third in the league in turnovers, so he's coughing up the ball constantly. And so Mike Conley will get those steals. You get 3 points per steal. He might get 3 or 4 steals with the way Trae Young coughs up the ball. Combine that with the points and the assists, love it. 1.5x. It's a no-brainer.
I tell you what, I mean, I'm not usually a basketball guy. I've been watching basketball every night. I literally texted Kyle last night when he was out to dinner, having a special night. I said, Domantas Sabonis is so good. That was the text. That's it. That's all I said. He didn't ask me any questions, but I was just watching him, and I was like, I got to tell Kyle Sabonis is the truth.
He's damn good at basketball, better than his father, which is pretty hard to do because Arvidas was pretty damn good at basketball, but Domantas is even better. So Yeah, I'm excited. We got basketball leading up to the big game. All these contests, you can win your share of $1.3 million worth of prizes. It can't get any better than this. It's
the only way it's going to get better is when Matt Stafford finally gets into the Hall of Fame, and Kyle has to give me $5,000 because now he's with the good team in the Rams, and when he wins one Super Bowl, he's going to make the Hall of Fame, and then Kyle's going to have to pay me $5,000. That's the only way it's going to get better. But Matt Stafford, as far as I'm concerned, is a bona fide Hall of Famer now. He's got the numbers, and I really hope he wins the Super Bowl. But if he does, that's it. That's done. I don't care how many All-Pros he has. I don't care about anything else. He wins the Super Bowl like Joe Namath did with the numbers that he has. He is a Hall of Famer, and that is it. If he wins the Super Bowl, I can't wait to just see. I wasn't going to make you pay, but now you're going to pay. You're going to pay. I'm going to send someone. All right. This has been Fantasy Gainz. That is Kyle. I am Squish. Remember, you do not want to miss out on the future of DFS. Caesar's Rewards, that is just the beginning.
We're going to the moon on this one.
To the moon!